As the world becomes increasingly digital, online accounts have become an integral part of our daily lives. From email to online banking, we rely on these accounts to communicate with others, access important information, and conduct financial transactions. However, with the convenience of online accounts comes the risk of a security breach. Hackers are always on the lookout for ways to steal personal information, and online accounts are often their target. In this article, we'll discuss ways to keep your online accounts secure. 1. Use strong passwords. A strong password is the first line of defense against a security breach. Your password should be at least 12 characters long and contain a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Avoid using personal information, like your birth date or address, as hackers can easily access this information. Instead, create a unique password for each account that is difficult to guess. To further increase security, consider using a password manager. These tools generate and store passwords for all your accounts, so you only need to remember one master password. This ensures that all your accounts have strong, unique passwords that are difficult to crack. 2. Enable two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is an extra layer of security that requires you to provide a second factor in addition to your password to access your account. This second factor can be a code sent to your phone or email, a fingerprint scan, or a security key. Two-factor authentication makes it much more difficult for hackers to access your account, even if they have your password. Most online accounts offer the option to enable two-factor authentication in their security settings. We highly recommend taking advantage of this feature to keep your accounts secure. 3. Keep your software up to date. Software updates contain important security patches that fix vulnerabilities in the software. Hackers often exploit these vulnerabilities to gain access to accounts, so it's essential to keep all your software up to date. This includes your operating system, web browser, and any third-party software you use. Most software updates can be set to automatic, so you don't have to worry about remembering to update them yourself. Check your software settings to ensure that automatic updates are enabled. 4. Be wary of phishing scams. Phishing scams are a common tactic used by hackers to trick people into giving up their personal information. Phishing emails often appear to come from legitimate sources, such as your bank or email provider, but they are actually a fraudulent attempt to steal your personal information. To avoid falling victim to a phishing scam, never click on links in suspicious emails. Instead, type the URL directly into your web browser or call the company to verify the request. Most legitimate companies will never ask you to provide your login credentials or personal information via email. 5. Monitor your accounts regularly. Regularly monitoring your accounts can help you identify suspicious activity early on. Check your account activity logs to ensure that there are no unauthorized logins or transactions. If you notice any suspicious activity, change your password immediately and contact the company's customer support for further assistance. In addition, regularly reviewing your credit reports can help you identify any fraudulent activity related to your accounts. You can request a free credit report from each of the major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion once a year. 6. Use a virtual private network VPN. A virtual private network VPN is a tool that encrypts all your internet traffic and routes it through a remote server. This makes it much more difficult for hackers to intercept your data and gain access to your accounts. VPNs are especially useful when using public Wi-Fi networks, as these networks are often unsecured and vulnerable to attacks. There are many VPN services available, some of which are free and some of which require a subscription. We recommend doing research and selecting a reputable VPN provider. 7. Be cautious of public Wi-Fi networks. Public Wi-Fi networks are often unsecured, which makes them an easy target for hackers. When using a public Wi-Fi network, avoid accessing sensitive information, like your email or online banking accounts. If you must use public Wi-Fi, connect to a VPN to encrypt your traffic and protect your accounts. 8. Use different email addresses for different accounts. Many online accounts require an email address as a username. If a hacker gains access to your email account, they can use it to reset passwords for your other accounts. To prevent this, use different email addresses for different accounts. For example, use one email address for your social media accounts and another for your online banking accounts. This way, if a hacker gains access to one email address, they won't have access to all your accounts. 9. Don't save login credentials on shared devices. If you share a device with others, avoid saving your login credentials on the device. When you save login credentials, anyone who uses the device can access your accounts without needing your password. Instead, manually enter your login credentials each time you use the device and log out of your account when you are finished. 10. Educate yourself on security best practices. Keeping your online accounts secure requires a proactive approach. Educate yourself on security best practices and stay up to date on the latest security threats. The more you know about security, the better equipped you will be to protect your accounts. In conclusion, keeping your online accounts secure requires a combination of strong passwords, two-factor authentication, software updates, vigilance against phishing scams, regular monitoring, VPNs, caution on public Wi-Fi networks, and education on security best practices. Follow these tips to ensure that your accounts remain secure and your personal information stays safe.